Jenny, hello. Happy almost New Year. Happy New Year to those of you who are already there in New Zealand and Australia and in Russia in about what? Another hour and a half or 2 hours? All of those of you who are other places, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
We will be stuck with an old year by the time it gets to us. Anyhoot, I guess we'll start with Joyride. Do you want to start, Hannah?
I'm not really sure what to talk about. Christmas was nice.
Yeah.
Overall, yeah, it was nice. We usually go to my aunt's house for Christmas. We did that for the first time since 2020.
Uh-huh.
So it was the first time I had been there, so it was kind of like, I don't know. It was kind of like, dang, apparently my cousin moved out, which I hadn't been told.
Ah.
So that was news to me.
Uh-huh.
But,
it's so funny. We are getting comments that it says nobody's watching. That's interesting. Apparently, the little eye in the sky doesn't tell us until later if somebody's on.
Okay. Nice.
Happy New Year. Tina, we already wished you Happy New Year, I think, before you got here, because you're going to be in the new year in about another hour and a half. John, we wished you a happy birthday on your day, but you weren't here. So we figured you were doing something more important on your birthday. Tina just had a birthday on the 27th. Happy birthday, Tina. So happy birthday, Tina. Janet Wicks wishes us Happy New Year when it gets to us. So, and I think it's not yet New Year. No, it's not yet New Year in the UK either. I think they're 8 hours ahead of us, 4 hours ahead of you. How far are they ahead of you?
That.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that.
Okay. Oh, Cookie Sword. Happy New Year. Yay, yay, yay. And thank you from both John and Tina. It's 6:30 in the UK, so 6:30 on the 31st.
It is 1:30 here.
Right.
So they're about 5 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Of me,
okay. All righty. Well, I have some Joyride. My Patches, my old kitty that I thought was going to pass away this weekend, has actually resurrected herself somehow, and she's doing a whole lot better. So I'm very joyful about that, because I haven't had her on my pillow with me for 3 nights because I thought she was on her way out, and now woke up this morning and she was right next to me again. So she's feeling better. New Jersey and Washington, big time zone spread. Yes. About as far as you can be in the United States.
Yeah, just about.
My Joyride is, this came into the mail a few days ago, but I just opened it up last night because I thought it was something I had ordered, and it wasn't. This is Hannah's gift to me, because we both have the goldfinch as our state birds, even though we're across the country from each other. And this is what a goldfinch sounds like. And you heard that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Helen sent me from New Zealand some of her birds. This is a kiwi sound. So see, in my critter corral, I have a bird shelf, and this is a kiwi. That's what a kiwi sounds like. And I'm going to say this wrong. I know I'm going to say this wrong. This is a Pewaka, and I'm not sure. It's a fantail. It's a Pewaka, and this is what they sound like.
I like that one better than the kiwi.
The
kiwi bird sounded like someone just screeching.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Helen, but it did to me.
Yeah. So those are my cute little Joyride. Whoops! I wasn't expecting a bird from. I knew we had just recently learned that the goldfinch is both of our state birds, but then one arrives in my mailbox, and I'm like, whoa! And I went, what? I didn't. Oh, this is from Hannah. There was no message in it at all. I
tried to send you an e-card. I guess it didn't go through.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see the e-card. Cookie sort of saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that she's okay." Yeah, Patches is
Oh
doing
yeah.
so much better. John says, this morning we put up all of our Christmas decorations. This morning? You put them all up? You just put them up? Or did you pull them all down? I'm confused. John says he just put up his Christmas tree.
So you mean take down?
I don't know. He's going to have to clarify for us. Maybe he's into the eggnog a little early.
Maybe some people keep a tree up all year but decorate it for different holidays.
Okay.
We do that, but have like a New Year's Eve or New Year kind of theme going on.
Right.
Is that what you mean?
I would call it a New Year's tree, though, but that's just me. Okay, he's going to have to straighten us out. That's just very confusing to me. Oh, he said it took hours to take down.
Oh.
Okay, it was a lot of work. Okay, he put up meaning he put away. I got you.
Yeah.
That's a Southern term. He put up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My sister, when she sets up next door in her part of the house, it's like a Macy's store. It takes her like 3 days to set it up and a day and a half to take it down. And it exhausts her taking it down. It's a joy always to put it up, but then when it's time to come down, it's not all that much fun.
It's a little depressing. It's a little depressing in a way.
It is a little depressing, and especially since it takes up so much room that when she takes it all down, it's like, a lot more room and it feels empty.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. I guess we'll just start off with an excerpt from the book. And folks, if you want to comment, I don't mean on the book, comment on anything, so we have more to talk about after I'm done here. This will not be as long as the one I did last time. You will be glad. Oh, what? You will be glad to know. Okay, now he's following us up. He put them up, meaning they put them away. Okay. Oh, before I do this, even, I want to go to banners because there's a couple of things I want you DeForest Kelley fans to know about that I probably have never put up here before. This is the Facebook group for DeForest. Hold on. This is the DeForest Kelley Westerns page link at Facebook. I'll leave that up for a while. You can just go to Facebook and type in DeForest Kelley Westerns and it will pop up. You don't need that number. And this one is the DeForest Kelley Legacy link. And again, you don't need the number. Just go to Facebook and get into the search field and put DeForest Kelley Legacy. And I'm trying to think what this other thing is. It's also D-related, but I can't remember which group it is. So I can't tell you how to get to that faster because I can't remember the name of the group. But anywho, so comments, we got comments. All right. You're in both of those groups. Yeah, I know you are. There are other folks who may not know about it, though. John is a wealth of knowledge of all things DeForest Kelley and some other things, too. Okay, this is an excerpt from DeForest Kelley, Up Close and Personal, A Harvest of Memories from the Fan Who Knew Him Best. And it's about the Encino Walk of Fame, not the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but the Encino Walk of Fame. For those of you who have the book, it starts on page 112. And here we go. Oh, by the way, this is a picture out behind my house. Hannah knows when you walk out my back door, this is the scene that, but however, when she was here, there were leaves on the trees, and there aren't now because it's wintertime. But that's the scene behind my house right now, or earlier this morning. On June 20th, 1992, Kat and I hosted a get-together in our backyard for Dee and Carolyn, AC and Martha Lyles, and Marianne and Robert Dunlap, AC's secretary and her actor husband. Dee and Carolyn arrived at 3:20 in advance of the starting time for the party because they wanted to cuddle Deacon before the rest of the pack arrived, and Deacon folded into his self-protective bread box position. Kat and I had made Walk of Fame stars on our front sidewalk, emblazoned with the names of each of our guests, plus one additional star, Dennis Morgan, Carolyn's favorite actor. Morgan's star was placed last on the sidewalk in order of appearance because it was a gotcha for Carolyn and it would be a total surprise. Dee and Carolyn arrived and headed up the sidewalk, tickled at the real look of the stars on our sidewalk. A little sign in the yard proclaimed Encino Walk of Fame. Dee walked ahead of Carolyn as he was packing a huge bag of homegrown lemons and oranges, but as soon as he saw Dennis Morgan's name, he stopped dead in his tracks, knowing something was up and waiting for Carolyn to spot it. I was with Carolyn as we proceeded up the sidewalk with her carefully with her carefully reading each name as we reached each star. I explained to her, "There's a star here for every person we invited to this get-together." She said, "Oh, isn't that nice? That's very thoughtful, Chris." That's when she saw Dennis Morgan's star. She stopped, studied it, then looked up, eyes wide and mouth agape, breath held. I had heard the story. The few times Carolyn had chances to meet her favorite actor, thanks to Dee, she knew she would be so tongue-tied and nervous that she refused to meet him. Carolyn looked again at the star and then at me and said, "Dennis isn't coming here, is he?" I smiled and said, "Well, Carolyn, he was going to. But then he said he didn't think he could handle 3 hours of your incessant chattering." Carolyn and Dee cracked up at that, and a cat hiding in the front room captured the moment in a priceless photo. We went inside and I sat the plant down Carolyn had carried in and presented to me. Carolyn gave us 3 magazines and an autographed "Live Long and Prosper" ad. Dee and I headed out the back door to see Deacon. Deacon took a couple sniffs of Dee and started to drool into his outstretched hand and face rub him like crazy. About 3 or 4 minutes later, Carolyn came out and joined us. Deke continued to drool into Carolyn's hand and then rub his face in it. I groused at one point, "Deacon, I wish you wouldn't drool on my special guests." Carolyn laughed and Dee laughed, and Carolyn said, "Oh, don't tell him to stop. I love it." I said, "It's tacky, but it is a high compliment. He's marking you by making your skin wet and then face rubbing the mess. That way he ends up smelling like you, and you end up smelling like," I hesitated and completed the sentence, "a serval." I joked. I was going to say like cat spit, but I like your version of it better. After at least 20 minutes of that, we went back under the roof of the porch and I made Dee a drink. He showed me how so I wouldn't overdose him. Carolyn had a wine cooler. Pretty soon after that, Marianne and Robert arrived, so I went out to greet them while Dee and Carolyn waited in the backyard. The Dunlaps were tickled by the stars. When I got back into the backyard, Carolyn asked if she could go see Deacon alone without me along. And I said I didn't think that was a wise idea. She said she wished she could. I said, "I wish you could too. And you probably could. But I sure wouldn't want to find out I was wrong, and neither would you." Marianne and Robert then met Deacon. He was his usual non-committal self with them. So Dee and Carolyn were able to see with their own eyes that Deacon definitely had the hots for them, but not for many other people other than his mom cat. Shortly thereafter, AC and Martha Lyles arrived. So I dived back out the front door to greet them as they scrutinized our Walk of Fame, smiling. They came inside and walked straight through the house and into the backyard to greet the Kellys and the Dunlaps. Deacon was even less friendly with the Lyles. He had reached what he felt was the maximum number of occupants in his territory and checked out for the rest of the day, lying in a bread box position, napping, or perhaps he was just ignoring us. I don't recall the specifics of all the fun we had. We had made director's chair type banners for the guests' chairs. Both wives and Marianne and Robert had their names respectfully emblazoned on their chairs. But Dee's banner read, "What's his name?" and AC's read, "Awfully Cute Mailroom Clerk." AC had started out at Paramount Pictures in the mailroom and then had gone on from there to become a producer. We had often asked him what the initials AC stood for, and he wouldn't tell us. So we had decided they stood for Awfully Cute, hence his banner. I got Martha and AC settled in. We all sat down, and AC launched into a nonstop monologue that was insightful, delightful, and wonderful. Dee and he talked about the disastrous Bel Air fire in 1961, which almost destroyed the Lyles home. And Dee mentioned that one of his childhood homes had burned down around them, which is why he had only a few photos of himself as a small boy. They talked extensively about the retirement home for motion picture people. They talked about actors they had worked with or known. It was either funny or poignant, depending on which story they were telling. The time flew by. The Kellys were there for at least 6 hours, a record, and everyone else was there for nearly 5 hours. They all left at around 9:40 p.m. and said they'd had a wonderful time. I said, I guess we'll have to make this an annual event then. And everyone seemed to be all for it. Okay, that's my thing for the day, unless you can find one that you want to read, Hannah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, going back and reading those things, it really brings it back to life again. It makes me it makes me not teary, but sighy. Okay, I'm going into the comments. Squirrel Lake is here. Jano's here.
Squirrel Lake. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. So everybody, tell us how things went for you. It's your turn. It's your turn. I have not set up a bunch of stuff here for today. We can make it short if we want, but I really love to hear from some of our listeners. And anything Hannah wants to share.
You mean for Christmas or New Year, are we talking about?
Anything that's uplifting. What are your hopes, plans, or schemes for the new year? Did you make any New Year's resolutions or?
Well, I didn't make any revolutions. So I'm not going to go, helping anyone. But I guess to just try to be, happier in general. Yeah. Yeah. So just work on that, take it by, day by day.
Look on the sunny side of life.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to try, now that the weather has moderated. Oh my gosh, we had a horrible, horrible, horrible day here about 10 days ago. Literally, if you walked out the back door, the ice was so thick on the patio and even on the grass, you would have broken your leg out there. And now the weather is moderated to about 50. So I'm going to recommit to walking, because when I walk, my joy level goes way up. It kicks those endorphins into gear. And once I'm active in that way, I remain active. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. And believe me, I have been a real couch potato the last 10 days or so. I just have done pretty much nothing between Christmas and New Year, and I'm ready to get back in the gate. However, I haven't gained any weight at all. The last 3 years during the holiday season, I've been really careful, because I know the average person gains like 5 or 6 pounds, and I've just been really careful not to go that route, and I've managed to keep my weight. So if I lose some more in this spring, then that just much more will, come off and stay off. AC Lyles was with Paramount literally for 7 decades. He was there 70 years. He said he had the shortest resume in Hollywood. John in Atlanta says it's 60 degrees outside and it feels good. That's pretty close to what it is here, and it's not raining. So I'm going to try to not dodge going to dodge raindrops and walk today, I hope. Cookie Sword. My mom got a random friend request from a cousin that she never talks to. Turns out he found the picture of me and my sister cosplaying Voyager characters and wanted to friend request my mom. I haven't been able to talk to him yet, but he even has his own YouTube channel, and he makes his own Star Trek fan content. Well, that is very cool. Well, what's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Tell him about Evernew so he can join us and tell us more.
Definitely, I'd like to see his stuff.
That would be very cool. Yes. Oh, Tina. Oh, I should have gotten some stuff from Tina. Her friend Bones,
Mhm.
sent her a button for Christmas, and it has the kitty cat Bones on it, and it's adorable. And I wish I had asked ahead. I'll be in bed early tonight. We kids always asked Grandma if she was going to stay up till midnight for the new year, and she would reply, "What for? It'll still be the new year in the morning." We kids found out many years later she was right. So I'll be in bed early. I usually do too, except I really shouldn't. The Seattle New Year's Eve thing at the Space Needle is absolutely stunning. So if you happen to be up at midnight Seattle time, which is 3 year time, and
Yeah.
look it up on YouTube. Look up the Seattle New Year's Eve celebrations. They are to die for. They are really fabulous. Cookie Sword's going to try to find the YouTube link. All right. Very cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I very rarely stay up for the new year. I know it's here though because I sleep with my window a little bit open, and everybody in my family goes out on the porch at midnight and bangs pots. Now, we didn't do that as kids. But it was a tradition for Wendy, my nephew's wife. And so ever since they've been married, which has been like, what, 25 years now, we've gone out and banged pots at night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope the neighbors don't mind that. It's certainly better than shooting off fireworks, though. Oh my
My
God.
neighborhood does both.
Yeah.
At midnight, like everyone's coming out making some kind of noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Banging pots and pans, setting off fireworks.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind it, especially it's only one night. Unlike 4th of July, they seem to start a week early and go, days later. And my goats really are afraid of fireworks, so it's a stressful time for them, and that's mostly why I don't like around 4th of July. If they just did it on the 4th of July, that's like survivable, but putting the goats in that much stress several days is just not fun at all. Here's John again. Yesterday I was looking at YouTube videos of Garrett Wang from Voyager. He is quite good at doing voices. He was at an event with George Takei. He does his impressions spot on. He is so funny when George Takei laughs. He was really nervous to do it in front of him. He did it, and George was losing it. So funny. George Takei, when he laughs, I've said this before, he sounds like a seal in heat. He is so funny. You can't help but laugh yourself silly when he laughs. Oh my gosh, his laugh brings such joy to people. Have you ever heard him laugh?
I have. I haven't met him, but I've heard him laugh.
I imagine you can probably find him on YouTube laughing.
Yeah.
George Takei laughing on YouTube. I bet you can find it. It's totally down in his trunk, just like his voice is. And and it's just pretty funny. I love it.
I know there was some guy who was able to throw his voice as George Takei, and he somehow got a hold of Leonard Nimoy's phone number.
Oh, yeah?
So it's on YouTube. He called Leonard Nimoy as George Takei, totally fooled him, totally fooled Nimoy's wife, who answered the phone, and he's just like, I can't do it, but he's like, is Leonard there? And she's like, no, there's no one named Leonard. Wait, George? Oh yeah, Leonard's in his back room, they had a conversation.
If you find that, let's show that one time.
Yeah, I'll definitely see if I can find it.
He started the conversation for a future one. Oh, I also want to remind you guys, not the next one, but the one after that, I think. I'm looking at my calendar now if you wonder what I'm doing here. Not the next Evernew, but the one after that. Jay Brower is going to be our special guest. That is, unless I'm in Cape Canaveral, we don't have one, that thing. And I want to, Cookie Sword says his name is Steve Harris. He's on Facebook, and here is his channel.
Awesome. Thank you, Cookie Sword.
There you go. And I want to show you some pictures of some of Jay Brower's photography. He is this mountaineer. He's just this adventurer. He's an Argonaut. He does everything. And I want to show you some of his pictures so you can see what to tune in. And that Jay Brower will be here on January 28th, Evernew, as a co-host. Here's a fun one of him. He works at Bethel Schools. I don't think he really took that flag up. I hope he inserted that flag. But here is him wing walking. I mean, this guy just is fearless. Here's a picture he took during the summer solstice.
This past year, or?
I think it was. This is summer on Mount Rainier. I mean, he's just absolutely a phenomenal photographer. Here, this thing, right? This is Rainier landscape, not from our direction, but from the east. Here's pictures of foxes he took on his walks. Here's pictures of him with mountain goats in the Olympics.
Dang.
I'm not going to show any more because he's just everywhere, and he takes pictures wherever he goes. And he's just an amazing photographer. I have a couple of other things I want to show you. During the winter solstice this year, I don't know if you guys have ever been, suggested you do this, but on the winter solstice, if you take a picture of your shadow, it's the longest it will be all year long during the winter solstice. Then if you take it in the summer solstice, you're like a pygmy because the sun is directly overhead and your shadow is very, very short. And I'm taking one of each so that I can put them side by side at some point. Oh, another thing is, Tallulah.
Yeah.
Tallulah Catherine. I don't think she's on here today, but I met her this week. We got together because she needed a rug for her geriatric dog named Kitty. And I happened to have one that I wasn't using. So we met at a Starbucks and I gave her the rug. And here's a picture of her dog, Kitty, on the rug at their home. They live on a hardwood floor and Kitty's got arthritis or something, was having a hard time getting around on the hardwood floor. So she asked if she just put an ATV out, does anybody have a rug they're not using? And I said, I got one. And besides that, we need to meet anyway. So now Kitty has her rug and I've met Catherine.
That's awesome.
And here's a picture of the three birds I just showed you earlier. All righty. Let me go into here and go to banners. I think banners or comments. Awesome pictures.
I'm on my phone, so I can't see what comments we have.
You what? You can't see them?
Not until you bring them up.
Ah, okay. You usually can, can't you?
When I'm on my laptop. My laptop
you're on your phone right now.
Yeah, my laptop did not want to connect to my microphone and camera, so I have to do it on my phone.
Okay, so here we go. The photos almost look like paintings. Yeah, it looks otherworldly, and yet that's our world. Is this your sister, Abby? Because I thought she was up on Christmas, or is that a new Abby?
No, that's also her.
All right. Okay, well, hello, Abby. Well, we do not see Catherine. Of course, this is New Year's Eve. I did not expect a whole lot of people to show up here, but we have...
A lot of people have traditions and whatnot.
Good representation of the people who are usually here, though. I'm real happy about that. Thank you guys for joining us.
Does anyone watching have any kind of New Year's traditions?
Does who?
Does anyone watching have any kind of New Year's traditions?
Yeah, share those if you do. Dee used to make black-eyed peas for Christmas. I mean, for
I think I had heard that.
Yes, and in the book From Sawdust to Stardust by Terry Rio, I think the recipe is actually in there.
I think so too.
For the black-eyed recipe he made. Yeah, Janet, they are. I mean, he has hundreds and hundreds of photos. We will not be able to get through them all because I'm sure he'll want to tell some little stories that go along with the photos, but it will be really an amazing, breathtaking day just to be able to. You don't have any traditions. Okay. We watch. Now we're going to find out. It's a mad, 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 mad world. And they go, oh, I want some local Chinese takeout. That's a good idea. I'll go do that today too.
Yeah, go to that place where we went.
Yes,
when I was over there. Yeah.
Yes, it's called
I can't remember what it's called.
Yenching here in
Yenching, yeah. Our place is called Yummy Yummy.
Yenching is on South Tacoma Way, in case anybody's watching from Tacoma. I really love it. Was Dee a good cook? According to Carolyn, Dee was a very good cook. So I do not know personally. I never ate anything that he cooked. But according to Carolyn, Dee said he can really find his way around the kitchen. He was very good. And I think toward the later years in his life, he did most of the cooking because, she had that hip that was always out of whack and hurting her. And I think he took over an awful lot of the stuff like that because it was just too painful for her to do that.
Have you ever tried any of his recipes?
I haven't done black-eyed. I'm not a fan of black-eyed peas, unfortunately. Yeah.
I'm probably going to try it just for the heck of it. Yeah.
It's for good luck.
Just drive up to the store, grab the stuff.
It's for good luck in the new year. And it was traditional. They did it every year.
We burn bayberry candles on Christmas Eve for good luck in the new year.
Uh-huh. Very cool. All right. Not sure if they sell black-eyed peas in the UK. They might be called something else too. I'm not sure. You can look that up on the internet. Does anybody have a particular favorite story out of my book or books that you'd like me to look up and read in the future? Not necessarily today, but if you do, if you have any particular stories that you particularly love, let me know what they are. I go through here and try to find one or two here and there, but I never know, my favorites won't necessarily be your favorites. And I want to be sure and catch everything that everybody would like to have shared. So that would be great if you could do that. Let's see where people are coming in from. Everybody's NDB Media. They all got it. They all got that down pat so that we can see what everyone's doing. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I'm kind of out of ideas unless you want me to grab another excerpt.
I'm kind of out of ideas too. You guys want to hear another excerpt, or are you guys done wanting to go to bed or spend time with your families?
We've been here like a half hour, and that's okay. That's the shortest one, but it's okay. What do you think? Well, leaving it all up to you. You decide what you're gonna do. I know I'm gonna call Tina after this. Tina and I are gonna get together for a little while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm IMing her. Hopefully trying to do it at least once a week. Sounds good to me? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's got other things they can be doing today. The last couple of days of your free time, if you got any free time. So yeah, let's call it a day.
Alrighty.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Please
thank you guys.
Whatever you guys want to do. It was a very late Happy New Year. All right. Okay, and there's Helen. We talked about you earlier, Helen. You're going to have to check it out. Okay, we're going to call it a day. Thank you, everybody. Love ya.
Thank you, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.